What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jordxn. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about things I wish I would have knew before I started working with artists as an engineer. Alright, so before I get into the video, man, like the person that's standing underneath me, her boyfriend got studio equipment, right? I said something about this in a previous video, but listen, man, he's been making the same beat for like 3 days. The 808s are out of key. It's horrible. I don't know if I should go down there and be like, bruh, your fucking 808s are out of key. Stop making this same trash ass beat. You know, let me know what I need to do in this situation, because the beat is horrible and it's driving me crazy because the 808s are out of key and they just sound like shit. Honestly, like the beat sounds like shit. I can hear it. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but I can hear it, and that shit sounds like shit. Just let me know what I need to do. Sorry about that. I kind of went off on a tangent, but I'm just tired of hearing that same beat over and over and over. But listen, I'm going to be talking about some of the things that I wish I would have knew. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it can help some of y'all up and coming engineers. Maybe it can help some of y'all artists learn how to work with engineers, and engineers how to work with artists a little bit better, so it don't be no problems. All right. So I want that for y'all. So let's talk about it. One of the first things I wish I would have knew is that I would have to wear a lot of hats. I didn't think I was going to have to be a vocal producer, help arrange the song, tell them when to come in, help them pick beats. I didn't know I was gonna have to do none of that. I thought being an engineer is like, you know what, just you get a internship, you get a job at the studio, you just go in there, hit record, and get them a rough mix out the door. Boom, they, you know what I'm saying, they come back to you for the mix, or they come back, book some more time and do this and that. But I was wrong. Like, from the minute I started working in studios and stuff like that, people was asking me, yo, you like this beat? You think I should rap on this beat? Oh, what you think I need to say? What you think I need to make the song about? I didn't know I was gonna have to encourage people. Like, a lot of people come to the studio shy. I have to make people feel comfortable. Like, I'm not even a people person by nature. I'm introverted, right? But if we got things in common, I feel more connected to you. So guess what? I'm gonna be myself. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gotta like be so standoffish, because I really don't fuck with people, honestly. If we can't talk sports, music, or play Apex Legends together, we really ain't got shit to talk about, honestly. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to me and having to work with artists, you know what I'm saying, I had to learn over time. It's like, you gotta wear many hats. You know, you gotta wear many hats, and you only put on as many hats as the people need you to wear. You know what I'm saying? So it's been cases where I've been in studio sessions where they just wanted me to set up a template, fix something real quick, come in and like do a vocal effect real quick that could nobody else do, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta be able to wear many hats. Just do whatever it is that's needed of you in the studio session. And the second thing I wish I would have known is that a lot of artists don't know how to record. And what I mean by that is a lot of artists don't know the correct distance to be from the microphone. All right, a lot of artists, they bump into the microphone. A lot of artists don't use their breath control correctly. You know what I'm saying? A lot of artists don't record with energy. A lot of artists record shy, timid. You know what I'm saying? A lot of artists just don't feel comfortable recording some of the stuff that they be saying. A lot of artists don't know how to record with Autotune. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. Like, a lot of artists don't like to hear themselves record. I've ran into a lot of people that's like, yo, I want Autotune, but I don't want to hear myself record because I don't like my voice. And I had to learn how to communicate with them on why it's better for them to hear themselves versus not hear themselves when they're recording with tune and without tune. Because even if you're recording without auto-tune, you need to hear your voice, because you need to hear if you're gonna get too close and you get the the air and stuff like that, or you bump the microphone and stuff like that. That gets recorded. Like, a lot of people don't understand that, right? So I had to learn that over time. So some of the stuff that I be talking about in videos is from first-hand experience, and then other stuff is from what artists tell me that they struggle with. You know what I'm saying? I've seen artists not give the best vocal performance with auto-tune. I've seen people in a studio, like I was literally in the Grand Hustle studio before, right? Session, right? I was running the session. A dude came in, he was like, yo, I just started rapping 2 days ago. I got the city going crazy, right? So they let him go in the booth, right? And when he went in the booth, he was recording. He did like a verse real quick, and the dude couldn't even do ad-libs on time. He was doing the ad-libs on top of the words he was rapping because he couldn't get the timing right, and even his vocals was off beat. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy to me. Like, bro, I'm in a professional studio, right? I'm recording. These niggas is signed, and I got somebody in here that don't fucking know how to record. That's crazy shit to me, honestly. You feel what I'm saying? Like, artists, like, take the time, learn how to record. It's okay if you don't know how to record. People will help you. You know what I'm saying? Engineers, if you know how artists should be recording, or if you notice that they're messing up in certain areas, don't be afraid to let them know. It's like, hey, I see you kind of nervous, I see you kind of messing up, maybe you should take a step back, move the mic down a little bit lower, something, so I can hear you better, because I want you to get the best song possible. You got to know how to communicate with the artist you're working with. And the third thing I wish I would have knew is that you're only good as the artist that you work with. I've heard this from industry engineers, I've heard this from professional studio owners, I've heard this from home studio owners, right? I've heard this from producers, managers, pretty much artists, anybody, right? You're only good as the people that you work with. So if you're working with trash people, they're gonna call you trash by association, right? So let's say somebody paid you $2,000 to mix a whole project and master the whole project, but the project was recorded poorly, the songs were whack. They're gonna automatically associate you with being a part of that whackness because you mixed the whackness, right? So now artists that was like really fucking with you, had some talent, they might be like, yo, if he's willing to work with this, I might need to go find somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's up to you, because y'all gotta understand, all money ain't good money. You know what I'm saying? So if you're trying to build a good reputation of mixing, of writing, whatever it is that you're doing as an engineer, like, you want to be able to make sure you can provide quality. You're working with quality artists, because if you're working with an artist that's up and coming, got a buzz, you're going to be able to charge more. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are going to think you're better because you're working with an artist that's good versus working with an artist that's not good, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's up to you though, but I'm just saying, like, people have told me that, so I'm relaying the message to y'all again. Like, you're only good as the artist that you're working with. So if you're working with A1 artists that are putting out quality music, people are gonna automatically assume your quality, and you can be able to charge whatever the fuck you want to charge. Alright, so look, the fourth thing I wish I would have known before I started working with artists is that all artists are not the same. And what I mean by that, like, I always knew like all artists wasn't the same, but I thought artists would understand some of the things that engineers have to do, but they just don't. And what I mean by all artists aren't the same, some artists can't take criticism. And that's crazy. I see that all the time. Like, a lot of artists look like they heartbroken if you tell them that you don't like their song, because they feel that they're the dopest ever. They feel like everything they record is a hit because they feel that you're hating on them. You know what I'm saying? People can't take criticism, especially if it's constructive criticism. You know what I'm saying? Like, artists gotta know how to take it. So engineers, you gotta know how to communicate to the artist about the criticism with the song, because at the end of the day, it's your song too, but it's their song. So it's like, you still got to be able to try to give your input to the song, because it's like, that's your work too. And the second thing that ties into artists not being the same is that some artists work slower than others. All right, you might have some artists come in, knock out 4 songs in a session, then you got some artists that come in and they knock out a hook in a 4-hour session. You know, you're gonna have to learn how to deal with that. You're gonna have to learn how to work with artist speeds and stuff like that. So it's like, if an artist working fast, you're gonna have to learn how to work fast, or not too fast or not too slow, right? But if an artist is working slow, you can't get impatient and try to rush the artist, because they're paying for the studio session. They're paying you. You work for them in that moment while they're paying you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all gotta understand that too as well. You gotta learn how to deal with the fast rappers and the slow rappers, singers, whatever. You gotta learn how to deal with that. And the third thing to go into play with all artists not being the same is that some artists don't understand how important the recording process is. All right, some artists do, so they put a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort into getting the best quality recordings that they can, vocal performances that they can. So you, the engineer, you're gonna have to point that out. You're gonna be like, yo, you want me to make it sound like this, but you're gonna have to record it like this. You're gonna have to put the energy in here. You're gonna have to say it like this for it to hit like this, right? So you're gonna have to learn how to communicate with that. You know, communicate that to the artist, you know what I'm saying, to clean that up, you know what I'm saying, because, you know what I'm saying, I'm just telling you what's real. Like, I'm trying to just talk some of the things that I've experienced and I've had to go through, I had to learn, so you can learn from the stuff that I've had to learn from. And the fourth thing that comes into play about all artists not being the same is that even if your opinion is the best thing for the song, they're not gonna listen, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not up to you to make the final decision, it's up for the artist, especially if they're paying you, right? If they're paying you, and if it's not your song or whatever it is like that, like whatever they want, that's what they want, right? Sometimes people will take your opinion because they value your opinion, right? You're gonna have to show people why they should value your opinion too. So it's like, when it comes down to it, like, all artists are not gonna respect your opinion just because you're the engineer, just because it's your studio. Just because it's your studio doesn't mean you're always right. You know, you might be stuck in your ways. You might not understand. You might not see their vision and stuff like that. You're gonna have to learn how to let your ego go, your pride go, and just do something that you wouldn't do, because everybody don't have to do it the way that you would do it. And that's something that a lot of engineers gotta understand. And when it comes to artists, sometimes the engineer may know what's best for the song because they have to mix the song. They're recording the song. You know what I'm saying? So it goes both ways. You gotta learn when to pick and choose and lose your battles, and when to let certain things slide, and when to like be open to it. You know, at least try it to see if it works. You know what I'm saying? That way, if it don't work, you always got another idea to try to see if it works. You know what I'm saying? So don't be beefing with your artists. Don't be beefing with your engineer. Like, we want to be good in the studio. And the fifth thing I wish I would have known before I started working with artists is that all artists think every engineer mixes the same way, that they all do the same thing. And I'm here to let y'all know that that is true. A lot of artists really do think that, because they be like, y'all went to this studio, dude uses this plugin and that plugin, why don't you use this plugin and that plugin? It's like, bruh, I don't have to use this and that plugin because they're different plugins. We all work differently. We hear things differently. We all have different ideas of what things supposed to sound like, right? So engineers, you have to understand that, and you got to be able to communicate that as well. It's like, yo, if you want to sound like old boy, you go and pay old boy or old girl or them or they, whoever, whatever they identify as, you go pay them, right? So it's like, don't compromise what you stand on, what you do best, just to please somebody else that's looking for a sound that you really not comfortable with doing or know how to do or whatever like that. But it's like, sometimes you got to kind of step out your comfort zone, but at the same time, it's like, yo, you know what I do, you know why people come to me. So if you're gonna come to me, you know what I specialize in, you know what I do, so let me do what I do. You know what I'm saying? Don't come to me expecting me to work like somebody else, because they hear things differently. I hear things differently. You hear things differently. Like, everybody hears things differently, right? And everybody has different ideas. So it's like, engineers, artists do think like that. And artists, you need to understand that every engineer does not mix the same, don't record the same, don't use the same DAWs, don't use the same plugins. Like, it's a lot of stuff out here, and people do things very differently. And the last thing I wish I would have knew before I started working with artists, especially at the studio, is that some artists don't come there to work. A lot of artists come there to take pictures for the gram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, right? They come there to smoke and take pictures and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I probably said take pictures, but it's like, they come there to hang out, right? They come there unprepared to work, right? They come there, they don't have a song in mind, they don't have beats ready. They tell you to pull up YouTube, and you gotta think about it. People are paying by the hour. They come into your studio to record. So let's say somebody coming in, they buy 2 hours. They come in there the first hour, they might come in there 10 minutes late, right? They come in 10 minutes late, so they got 50 in the first hour. They waiting on somebody to pull up. That person takes 45 minutes to pull up, right? They go to get food, right? Or something like that. They smoking, they drinking, they on Snapchat, Instagram, this and that. And before you know it, they got 30 minutes and they ain't even picked the beat yet. So you pull up YouTube and you pick a beat for them and play beats, and they just pick beats. You gotta convert it and do all whatever stuff to it. So it's like, they wasting time. They literally wasting time. So that's 2 hours gone, and a lot of artists be like, yo, I got like 10 minutes, can I buy 30 minutes, can I buy another hour, and stuff like that. And they continue to keep fucking up the time, you know, and they never leave. They might leave with a hook, or they might leave with half a hook, or they just might just leave and be like, I'm gonna come back by myself, and then they come back and repeat the same cycle. So engineers, you have to be prepared for that, because a lot of artists are gonna come in there. You might feel like they're disrespecting you or wasting your time, but you gotta think about it. It's like, you're getting paid, but at the same time, they're kind of like wasting your time, but you're getting paid. And artists, you need to go to the studio if you're ready to work. Don't go there to bullshit and take pictures. That's cool, you take the pictures and stuff like that after you're done working, but it's like, before you record, you want to have some beats in mind, right? You want to have some beats from producers. You want to go buy the beats, release the beats, do whatever you want to do for the beats. But it's like, you want to be prepared to work, right? Engineers, every artist is not going to come in the studio session ready to work. Every artist is not going to come in the studio session lazy either. You know, you just got to know develop that relationship. It's like a barber. It's like you and your barber, the girl and her hairstylist, whatever. It's like you gotta have that type of relationship with them to kind of understand if they're gonna be late, if they're gonna be early, what kind of client they are. You just gotta understand that, right? So when it comes to being an engineer and working with artists, you're gonna have to communicate. That's the overall point of this video. Communication is very important, right? Don't offend nobody. Just try to keep it as honest as possible and just keep your feelings out of it, right? It's our business. Keep your feelings out of it. It's art. Y'all working on it together. They're recording it. You're recording it, but a different way. Like, you're working with them because y'all have the same end goal in mind. It's like they come to you for quality. You got to give them quality. They come to you to make their vision come true. You got to make their vision come true. So have fun. You know what I'm saying? That's at the end of the day. You got to have fun. If you're not having fun, if it's stressing you out, you might have to go get some new clients or something. But listen, those are some things I wish I would have known before I started working with artists. Hopefully I said something in here that can help you improve your home studio experience, whether you're an artist or a rapper, or your professional studio experience, whether you work in a professional studio or you go and record at professional studios. Hopefully I said something that was beneficial to somebody. But listen, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It's your boy Jordxn. I'm out of it. All right, cool.